And you're in this planning mode and you have a lot of ideas actually coming through for content. But when you actually get to the point of sitting down, creating the content, and even worse, then posting and releasing that content, suddenly you start to doubt your content. You think it's not good enough. You think it's not valuable enough. You find reasons subconsciously that prove to you that this content is not worth sharing and that it's not worth being presented to others. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Rooted in the Cosmos, your podcast for all things spiritual leadership, higher consciousness, and New Earth vision. My name is Isabel Gloria. I'm your host, and today I want to talk about something that is very, very important if you want to thrive on social media, if you want to share spirituality online, and it is the fear of being seen. What often keeps us from actually stepping into our power for a long time is the fear of being seen. And today I want to talk about these visibility blocks and explore with you where they come from and why you may have them, and also how to overcome them and how to no longer feel stuck on your spiritual journey when it comes to expressing yourself on social media or when it comes to building a spiritual business. Let's dive right in. I have a lot to share with you today, and I see that a lot in my clients as well. The visibility block and the fear of being seen is something that a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs struggle with, especially in the beginning, especially when they're in the beginning stages of their business. So if you are in the beginning stages of your business, you're figuring out what you want to do, you don't feel 100% aligned with what you do yet, and there is still a lot of trial and error and alignment and realignment and figuring stuff out. This all adds to the pressure of not wanting to be seen subconsciously. And I really want to explore that with you today because it's a big topic. It's a thing that you absolutely need to overcome to really be successful, not only on social media, but also in your business as a whole. And yeah, it's a very important part of stepping into your own leadership. In the context of spiritual entrepreneurship and having a spiritual business, to begin this episode, I first want to explore with you what these visibility blocks are in the context of spiritual entrepreneurship. Because as you may know, they are not conscious. It's a subconscious thing that you may not be aware of. So even if you feel like you're listening to this podcast episode right now and you feel like, okay, this is not really my topic though, I'm not like scared of being seen. Maybe you are and you don't even know that, because I see that in a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs and a lot of women who are coming forward to share their spiritual journey. It feels amazing and expanding in their mind when they think about doing it. But the process of actually going out there and sharing your stuff is scary, and it triggers these visibility wounds. So that's why I want to talk about it. I kind of already addressed the first symptom. The first symptom is that you may think about posting a lot. You may think about posting certain content or posting about certain topics, speaking up about things, sharing your view on some things, creating YouTube content around a certain topic. You are in this dreamy mode of, oh, I'm so inspired and I want to do that, and I could include that, and I could do it this way, and I could do it that way. And you're in this planning mode and you have a lot of ideas actually coming through for content. But when you actually get to the point of sitting down, creating the content, and even worse, then posting and releasing that content, you may feel like you're drained of inspiration, you are drained of go, like there is no energy left in you, and you may even not post at all because suddenly you start to doubt your content, you think it's not good enough, you think it's not valuable enough. You find reasons subconsciously that prove to you that this content is not worth sharing and that it's not worth being presented to others. So the feelings in this whole situation go from full inspiration, being fully energized, fully being in your element while planning out the content, even creating the content. But as soon as you get to a point where you actually have to release the content to others and to make it public or to put it into a position where it could be judged by others, you take a step back and you feel bad about yourself. You feel bad about the content. You feel bad about yourself. You feel bad about the inspiration that you used to feel when creating it. It's no longer there. And that is a typical dynamic that happens for a lot of women who want to share their heart on social media, who want to really step up and share spiritual content. And surprise, surprise, it's not that the content is not good enough or that any of the reasons that you may find not to post that piece of content are true. The reason behind this dynamic is that you are actually scared of being seen. There are two main aspects in this fear dynamic. The first one is the psychological aspect. You may have had experiences in your life where you felt like you were not seen for who you are, you were not accepted for your truth, for what you shared, or you were misunderstood. Especially if this is something that happened a lot in your childhood, where you often felt misunderstood by other kids, or where you felt like you cannot fully be yourself around others, or they will judge you, or they will think you are weird. That is when these visibility blocks kick in and we try to adapt and we try to dim our light. And as a light worker, that you probably are, I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this, there is this inherent feeling of alienation. We come to Earth with this energy that's different about us. And this is not meant in a way that we are different and we make ourselves be different. It's just a perceived alienation between you and between the world and between you and the humans around you. And this aspect that we share as light workers, this feeling of alienation and being different, adds to the fear of being seen. Because we are used to weird people out in a way, we are used to being perceived as different, as a little bit awkward, as whatever it is for you. It doesn't necessarily have to come from a negative place when other people perceive you as different. But especially as a child and as you grow up and as you are still moldable and very unsure in yourself, you want to be loved and you want to adapt and you want to be part of something and you want to belong. And as light workers, we often don't have that inherent feeling of belonging. So this dynamic comes together with the fear of being seen and it feeds this fear. So when you start to step up and start to step into your power and actually use all the gifts and all the knowledge and wisdom that you hold as a light worker, that is keeping you from actually getting it out there. That is what's holding you back. The second aspect is the energetic misalignment that comes with this dynamic. So let's say you really want to become a spiritual entrepreneur. You want to be a spiritual content creator. You really want to do this as a career. So that desire is definitely there and it's in your heart. It's not coming from your ego. You feel that you have a higher calling. But at the same time, you don't want to be seen because you are so afraid because of your childhood and because of the perceived differences between you and other people to be perceived as different. So there is a misalignment here. You want to step up and share with the world an aspect of you that is unique and that is different from most people, because not everybody is in alignment with their spirituality. Not everybody has a spiritual career. But at the same time, that is your fear, your subconscious fear. So this misalignment makes it really hard for you to manifest the success and to manifest a thriving business because it doesn't align. You want two things at once, even though you don't want the one thing consciously, you want it subconsciously. You want a thriving spiritual business, you want full self-expression, and you also want subconsciously to hide and not be perceived as any different from anyone else. The interesting thing about this is that when you have this energetic aspect that is different to most people, you can either end up hiding away and hiding your entire life and never fully blooming into who you are meant to become. Or you can achieve quite the opposite. You can become the person that achieves things they never thought were possible. So you have a huge potential within you when you have this inherent difference, when you have this light worker energy within you, and you can either hide away or become the pop star of your own life, quite literally. What is also important to know and to address is that these subconscious fears also influence how you create content and how you lead your business, how you express yourself. Even if you feel you are not really struggling with the things that I've just mentioned, and you do post and you do work toward your goals and you do have a business or you are in the process of building that and you feel like you do all the things, ask yourself if you are really 100% giving all your energy into what you create. Or are you sharing a dulled down version of yourself? Are you dimming your light in any way? Are you keeping your mouth shut about certain topics because you are afraid it will be too polarizing if you stand your ground? All of these are symptoms that you are still afraid of being seen. It doesn't necessarily mean that you never post and never show up. It also comes down to what kind of content are you posting? How authentic is it? How much power of you is in that content? Are you dimming your light? Are you pleasing others? Are you just sharing 10% of who you truly are just because you're subconsciously afraid to be judged, to be laughed at, to be perceived as too different from other people, to not fit in, whatever the subconscious fears are? This also impacts your engagement and the content that you create and that lands with others. All of this impacts your social media content and your business identity and your business expression as a whole. Because if you're not fully aligned with who you truly are and what your soul really wants to express, you don't have the energetic alignment that is necessary to fully express your divine mission. You can still be successful in that business. You can still have clients and help them and have people gain value through your content. But the thing that will remove the blockages and will actually make the energy in your business flow is when you step into alignment with your divine mission, with your values, with the things that you actually want to share without subconsciously hiding a part of you or dimming your light or dimming your boldness, dimming whatever you dim about yourself. That is when a business does not only have the potential to be successful, but when you begin to actually create a movement, when things are falling into place and people start resonating with you heavily and you gain these loyal followers and this community that you so desperately want. That is only possible if you fully align with your divine mission and if you remove the blocks that make you dim your light and make you dim the content you actually want to post. Energetically, this dynamic also exists. The people who are meant to see your content and who will resonate with it have soul contracts with you. We have so many soul contracts with so many people on this planet. And a lot of them, especially if you're a light worker, are with other souls to learn from each other. And if you are in this scenario here on Earth, if you are their spiritual teacher or their coach or whatever you are, they have something to learn from you through the things that you express publicly, because you are in the role of the teacher here. So if you don't express what you are meant to express and what was written in the soul contracts with all your clients, it will not land with them in the same way. They will not recognize that as something that they need to have in their life. They will not recognize you as their teacher, not in the same way they would if you were able to translate your energy into your content without any blocks, without any dimming down, without any dimming your light. So even if you manage to build a following, build a community, it will never be as loyal and as engaged and as powerful as if you were to express yourself without any visibility blocks, without any fear of being seen, because they want to see you. They are meant to see you in your authentic energy, not a dulled down version of you, of your content, of your business. In that way, these visibility blocks also prevent this genuine connection that you can have with other people. Because even though we are building a business and I help my clients build their business, I help them step into their leadership, it all boils down to human connection and to making the world a better place and to this bigger vision that we hopefully all share on this podcast and in my community, to create a better world and to create a network of conscious people that help each other. And your role in this network is that of a teacher for your clients. But if you hide yourself and if you only partially show what you can share with them or the value you have to share, they cannot fully connect with you. And it prevents them from actually making that genuine connection with you. And it prevents all of your community members to step into their own power and it's like a ripple effect. We're all connected to each other, and the more people empower themselves to no longer hide and to no longer block their visibility, the easier it becomes to connect with each other. And you are playing an important part in that. And your part in that is to release all these blockages, to release the fear of being seen, and to also, first of all, recognize it in yourself so that it can be released. That is your part in creating this connected network of people, because they can only truly, truly, truly connect with you if they recognize you energetically. There are more signs and symptoms that you may be afraid of being seen. And it also comes down to literal physical symptoms. The way you can explore that within yourself is to think of a time where you wanted to create content and your body suddenly stiffened, or you suddenly were super blocked in your body. Like you could physically feel the stress and the tension in your body. This anxiety and this tension also relates to visibility issues. So you may be afraid of being seen in your physical embodiment. You may not feel 100% confident in what you want to share because you are afraid of judgment, of being laughed at, like the typical things, afraid of being judged for what you share. And it physically manifests in your body. Another good way to catch yourself in that behavior is to think of something that you are really passionate about. So think about a certain topic, a certain lifestyle, a spiritual belief system, whatever it is, something that you are truly passionate about for yourself. And then think about sharing that and stating your point to someone who completely disagrees. And you can play that out in your head or like pretend to do that and feel how that feels in your body. What often happens if you are afraid of being seen is that you automatically take on a posture that is not very powerful. So you're either hunched over or your shoulders drop down or your back is not straight. You go into a position of hiding and of protecting yourself instead of standing tall and speaking your truth and not caring what the other person has to say about it because it doesn't influence your perception of your truth. That is also a way that a visibility block can show up in your life. It's not always lack of confidence. It's very often the fear of being truly seen, being seen for what you believe, what you're passionate about, what you really think about the world, whatever it is. It can be anything, but that is how it physically shows. You become uncomfortable with the physical embodiment of your soul because you are not aligned with your truth. You're not aligned with your authentic energy. And you're walking through life in this physical body, hiding parts of yourself. And that shows physically in your posture, in the way you speak about things, in the way you react physically to how others perceive you. For the physical part, there's a really simple solution that you can practice. you consciously go into a more powerful position with your body. You straighten your back, you push your chest out, shoulders back, head straight, and you just try to remain in that position, in that posture, while you talk about the things that you're passionate about, while you confront your fear of being seen, while you are in front of a camera creating content. Whatever the situation is, force yourself into a more powerful position. And that will automatically, it's like a response in your brain, that will automatically put you in a more confident and powerful mindset. It really works. It may take a few times for you to feel comfortable with that, but try it out. It really works. So don't just step in front of your camera hunched over and kind of talking about your things, kind of creating the content you wanted to create. No, go in with a straight back, head up, chest out, and speak fully from your heart, from your chest. That makes such a huge difference. And that is something you can also practice in everyday life, when talking to people, when just going to the bakery, getting yourself a little treat. Just be confident in your body. Fully embody your own energy and show it to the world. It doesn't have anything to do with arrogance. It doesn't have anything to do with feeling better than others. It's just the process of fully embodying your energy and not hiding part of that away. It will help you long term to really gain that confidence to speak your truth. That is what you can physically do to tackle these fears and to explore the fear of being seen within you. And I also want to give you some practices or some prompts that you can look into for yourself that will also help you explore this. The first thing that comes to my mind is that you can ask yourself, what specific fears are being triggered about being seen and heard and perceived as a spiritual entrepreneurs, and where do these fears originate from, and how have they impacted my actions? This is a lot to explore. This is not a one-line answer in your journaling book. But you can begin by thinking of, when did you feel like you cannot fully speak your truth for the first time? Was it a situation in your childhood? Do you remember a situation where your light was dulled by others and you were shushed and you could not speak your truth? You could not express yourself and you were not allowed to do that? This is a starting point to work with that fear and to tell yourself that it's safe now to express yourself, and that you've grown into an adult who can also deal with people who don't agree with you. That is not the end of the world. Not pleasing everyone is not the end of the world. It's literally part of your initiation, and it's part of your success as well. You cannot become successful and have a thriving business if you please everyone. You have to have people that are not agreeing with you. That is not a negative thing. That is a natural sign that you are a powerful light worker, creating a safe space for those who resonate with your message. You can also reflect on these past experiences, or also the societal messages. What are some limiting beliefs that are common in your family? Is it a common thing in your family to try to hide and to not stand out and to always be under the radar? Is that a thing, or is that something that your parents told you, your grandparents told you, whoever it was? Maybe it is a limiting belief that they already had and that their parents already had, and you just adapted to that. You just took that as your own, but you never truly felt like it was your truth. It was just a learned behavior. Explore that as well. What are the patterns in your larger family that are connected to dimming your light, that are connected to staying under the radar, to not being someone who's looked at? You can also work with the worst case scenario. I like to do that when I feel really stuck with a limiting belief, when I feel like I cannot reframe it, I cannot let go of it. It's so stuck in my system. I go for the worst case scenario method. What you do is you visualize the worst case scenario that could happen if this fear were to come true. So what is the worst thing that can happen if you are being perceived as a spiritual content creator, as a spiritual entrepreneur. And answer that for yourself. What is the worst thing that can happen? And then ask yourself, what is the best thing that can happen? What is the best possible option that can stem from that? And then you compare what you came up with. And I guarantee you the positives will outweigh the negatives, and the negatives will be comparably small to how much the positives could change your life for the better. So that makes it really visible and really tangible for you to see how important it is to let go of that fear and to let go of that block. The last thing I want you to explore is if it's actually a fear of being seen, or if there is lack of clarity in your mission, in your expression. Do you actually feel aligned with your purpose, with your content that you are sharing or that you plan to share as a spiritual content creator, as a spiritual entrepreneur? Or do you feel like you don't even know what you're meant to do? So in that case, the fear of being seen and the visibility block could also stem from lack of clarity instead of from only fear. I'm not saying there is no fear involved in that. It can also be that there is fear of being seen involved. But when you lack clarity and when that is what's blocking you for the biggest part, you first have to look at gaining that clarity, gaining that red thread that gives you guidance and security and that allows you to have a structure and a frame to work in. Because if you don't know what you're doing, it feels like swimming in a huge ocean and you don't know where the next island is, where you're swimming to. And that is not a nice place to be in. That is not how you can accumulate your power and your energy to create powerful content and to create a beautiful life for yourself and others. That is not how we create impact. We need the clarity. I've already recorded some other episodes about clarity on this podcast, so make sure to check those out if they resonate. But I also wanted to add that it's okay to ask for help in this process. Clarity is a tricky thing, and we often see muddy waters whenever we look at our own energy because we are so enmeshed with it. You can never truly perceive yourself energetically from the outside because you are that energy. So it's really hard for you to gain clarity. It's hard for everyone to gain clarity around what would work and what is meant for you in this business, in this path, on this path. And it's okay to ask for help and to get a mentor to help you with that, or to ask for support in your community or in your friend group. It's okay to do that. We work on clarity a lot in the Cosmic Wonders mentorship, and my clients go through several streamlined processes of gaining clarity and knowing exactly what their red thread is. And that is super helpful for their visibility blocks, for showing up online, for just expressing themselves. Make sure to find a way to gain that clarity as soon as possible if that's what's blocking you from actually thriving, from actually building your business. If you're just doing a trial and error method and never truly feel aligned and clear about your content, you're just wasting time. It's not worth it. So find a way, ask for help, ask for support to help you gain that clarity fast so you can also grow fast and build your business and build your presence and your community. We don't want to waste time. It's very important to tackle this issue and to not stay in this unclear state for too long because you are, like I just said, you're literally just wasting time with it. To end this episode, I want to give you a little visualization practice for your future self. That is also very powerful to step into the energy of what it could be like if you allow yourself to drop those visibility blocks and to let go of the fear of being seen. I want you to imagine yourself as a confident, visible spiritual entrepreneur who has completely overcome visibility blocks. See that future version in your mind. What does she look like? What is she wearing? What color is her outfit? What color is her hair? How is her hair styled? Like, how is her look? What does that look translate to others? What energy is she emanating? What does it feel like to be in her presence? How do you notice her energetically when she steps into the room? How does this future version of you show up on social media? How does it energetically feel if you scroll through her profile? If you stumble across a piece of content of her, if you watch her on screen, what energy does that emanate? What is the overall energy and vibe within her community? How does the community connect with each other? How do they talk to each other? How do they perceive her? And how do they engage and communicate with her? What energy is she giving to her community? And what energy is coming back to her? Just allow yourself to create this detailed visualization of your future self in your mind, and also include in that visualization how you engage with your audience, the type of content you share, and the impact you have. Feel that impact energetically. What you can do with the power of being seen, of being visible, of being looked at. Feel the power of that. What that could change in your life, what that could change in your finances, what that could change in your family, what that could change in your overall living situation, and also what that could mean for your potential clients if they are in the presence of such a powerful person, such a powerful woman who wants to help them. What does that mean for your audience and for the community that you nourish with your content every day? What does that mean if you give 100% of who you truly are instead of just 10% to them? What does that change in their life? What does that change in their minds, in their hearts? That is such a huge impact that you create simply by being seen, by being perceived. And finally, ask yourself, what steps did your future self take to become this version of you? What did she do to get there? What were the steps in between now and her? I hope this was a helpful and powerful practice for you and that you could gain from this episode. And I hope it was valuable for you and you feel like you can overcome the fear of being seen and you realize that it's not worth hiding in any way. If you really want to take your business seriously now and fully step into your power and be actually seen and perceived and eventually change your entire life because of that, I invite you to apply for the Cosmic Wanderers mentorship. The next round starts at the end of July. Several women have already saved their spot even before officially launching. So I only shared about this next round on the podcast, and some women already saved their spot. So I feel that this upcoming round will be very, very powerful, very impactful, and that the spots are going to go fast. So make sure to save yours if you feel called. I only share this on the podcast. I'm not officially launching yet. Only the podcast peeps know that you can already save your spot. So make sure to reach out to me so we can find out if the Cosmic Wonders mentorship is the right fit for you, and also how we can bring your business to the next level within the next 6 months or birth it completely from scratch. That being said, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget that you can now comment on YouTube. So if you want to leave a comment on this episode, make sure to do that on YouTube. That's where I can see it and I can answer you, and we can have this conversation and little community on YouTube. It's all linked in the show notes. I'm wishing you the most beautiful day. Talk to you soon, and talk to you next Sunday for a brand new episode.